Hello, guys. Thank you for joining Tickets for Tay. We have a special guest here. His name is Rick. He is a collector of many different things, but I'll let you introduce yourself, Rick, and a bit about yourself, what you collect, and your journey within tickets.
Hey, how's it going, guys? So my name is Rick. Was born in Portugal and moved to Canada when I was younger. Um, been collecting a lot of stuff. I'm gonna say about 10 years ago. Started collecting cards. I got many cards. Uh, a lot of tickets that will be showing off today. A lot of memorabilia. Uh, as for cards, a lot of people know me as the number one of. Cards, meaning any card that is numbered. I always like to collect the first card. So, number one of 10, one of five. Cards is a different topic, but, I would love to show off my cards, but, we can be here all day. But I do have a lot of interesting tickets to show, a lot of memorabilia from the Euro. Also, uh, big collector for the Euro 2016, game used net of the finals,
Yeah.
newspapers, a lot of memorabilia. Uh, yeah, just like that. I can be here all day showing off my stuff that I collect, but
Yeah, you seem
we're
to tackle every single avenue within football collecting.
correct.
With regards to tickets, explain to me your journey within that and how you first came across them, and then what makes you so fascinated about them.
Uh, tickets. Tickets is a hard thing to get now. We all know a lot of games now are e-tickets. Uh, either through a phone app or you print a ticket at home. So it is getting rarer and rarer to get tickets. I'm not sure what it is in Europe, but I know here in Canada there is no such thing as hard tickets anymore. So
It's definitely a dying hobby. A lot of the games now you have to play tricks with the people behind the box office and stuff like that. It's not
yeah,
completely obsolete, but it's definitely heading that way. I mean, Arsenal, as an example, claimed this year they'll be 100% e-ticketed. However, their system's messed up, and they have to obviously have some tickets behind. So, yeah, with regards to a European perspective,
yeah.
that's what it's like at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, I do have some recent tickets from Portugal that was printed, uh, but games here like hockey or basketball, uh, everything is e-ticket. So, if you're taking your friend to a game and your friend's not there at the time, you would have to wait for him to come in. You can't send him a photo of the ticket.
Yeah.
It has to be done on your app with your friend there. So, it's what makes it interesting is now to get tickets. It is hard to get, and tickets you never know what you're going to get with a game, right? You go to a Portugal game today, you don't know if Ronaldo's going to score 10 goals, you don't know if
Yeah.
it's going to be his last game, so it always makes it interesting. And it is very hard now to get tickets, meaning someone's going to scan the ticket. A lot of times they're going to get folded, put them in your back pocket,
Mhm.
throw them away after the game and stuff. So out of the 40,000 tickets meant to a game, a lot of them won't make it back home, and to get them graded a high number
Yeah.
is very rare. Versus a card where
Absolutely.
you pull out a Ronaldo card, you're gonna throw it in a protector and get it graded. As for a ticket, again, get it scanned, put it in your back pocket, get home, take it out. So it is hard to get a high grade with tickets. So it's
Absolutely.
what
Well,
makes
you
it
have a
interesting to get.
fantastic, yeah, you have a fantastic collection. I've seen it on Instagram, and you've sent me before. What was the
Hmm.
first ticket you ever bought to kind of collect?
Ooh, I do have it here. I'm gonna say, I mean, I have so many now, I just can't remember. Uh, the first ticket I got was where is it?
Building the suspense.
Yeah, I got so many. Thought I was prepared a little bit more, but here it is. This was it was an debut from 1976. So
Wow.
this is when his debut played for Toronto, which is where I'm from. He did win the championship with that. I am going to send it to PSA to get graded, but it was a soccer ball, 1976. Maybe the light's not the best
Yeah,
here.
we can see. I can see. It's lovely.
Yeah. So I mean, this was good. probably my first ticket I had, and I kept it for a while. Uh, and then throughout the years, I just started collecting a lot of Portuguese player debuts, records, first games, last goals, first goals, or record breaking games.
An interesting question is then, with obviously debuts being most in value, how do you value those tickets in terms of record breaking debuts, internationals, potentially a trophy like when Portugal won
Mhm.
the Euros in 2016? How do you compare these different memories?
Ooh, it's a good question. I've never sold a ticket in my life, so any tickets I buy is for my personal collection.
Yeah,
Uh, I've noticed when I am buying tickets that the debuts do cost a little bit more than the records or last games. Uh, but yeah, I'm gonna say most of my tickets are debuts, and they are, after looking at some eBay sales, I've noticed the debuts are the ones that do cost a lot more than record
absolutely.
breaking games.
Well, I ask this to everyone that comes onto the show, so it's rude not to ask you, but what are the three tickets? I know you mentioned you've never sold one, but three tickets that you really, really wouldn't let go.
So I have one now at PSA. I keep checking to see if there's an update. I wish I had it here.
Yeah,
Uh, it is. It was super hard to find. I don't know if anybody else does have this. It is the Ronaldo 200th game, the record of the most international games. Um, it took me so long to find it. Don't know if there was an actual hard. It is a hard copy ticket, but from what I know, that game was all e-tickets, but only a few were hard copies, giving to
yeah,
some companies, and I found somebody who did. Um, have it. I'm gonna say my Euro 2016, of course, the finals
yeah.
when Portugal won, and I'm gonna say that also that Eusebio one that I just showed earlier, 1976 when they won the championship for Toronto.
Incredible, incredible. There's three tickets, yeah, and it's nice to see that other people, because the culture around here in the UK is definitely debut focused. So if it's not
Mhm.
a debut, for the most part, people aren't particularly interested or excited. But it's nice to know that the three that you did mention, none of them are really debuts. So that's really cool.
Yes,
That's
yeah,
very cool. What are
yeah.
what are your challenges as someone in Toronto collecting tickets, especially someone that collects mainly Portugal tickets or Ronaldo tickets? What are the challenges over there like?
So pricing here for tickets are crazy. I mean, I have a game here. It was a few months ago when Portugal won 9-0. I looked at the ticket and it was €10. If you go to a game here for, let's say, a basketball, you're you're probably looking at about $1,000 per ticket, which is about £600. That's only for one
To
ticket.
watch.
That's if you want to watch a game. Yes.
That's
So if you want to
crazy.
sit a good seat at a hockey game or a basketball game, you're looking at about £600 for one ticket just to watch.
And it's interesting to see because that definitely impacts the resale value of that ticket because
Correct.
the more expensive it is, the more likely someone is to keep it. And then, yeah, then they're less likely to want to give it away. So, yeah, very interesting to
Yeah.
see that as well. That's nuts.
Yeah. For example, like I just looked at a ticket. It was €10. I paid, of course, more for it. So for the person who went to the game, the money I paid for it paid for him to go to the game and a lot
And
more.
more.
So
Yeah,
yeah, that's
it's
the only
very
thing.
interesting that now when you buy a ticket, especially if you can guarantee you can get a physical ticket, you can almost get a free day out just to watch an event.
Yes.
Now, of
Yeah.
course, you can't always, it's a gamble. You never know
Mhm.
whether something's going to happen on that game, whether it's a first, last, debut, whatever it may be, or a
Yes.
record breaking game. But if you are lucky, you can definitely guarantee it was a free day out.
Yes.
Which is
That's for
which is
sure.
cool. Which is cool.
Yes. Yeah.
So
I mean, I know there's a lot of followers, as myself and yours, that do collect tickets. But sometimes I like to take it to the extra step. And what I mean by here is, for example, that big game we had for Ronaldo, um, his last game for Sporting versus Manchester.
Manchester United.
So yes, there's a lot of tickets. There's also I do have a graded uh, program
Yeah.
of the game, and also something that a lot of people don't collect, and I'm saying it's good to have with the ticket is also the newspaper. So this is the
Wow.
actual newspaper of the Sporting versus Manchester game. I do have a lot of newspapers as well, not just tickets. So again, debuts, records, stuff like that. So I have a lot of matching newspapers with the
Yeah.
tickets as well.
It's an interesting perspective because I haven't really ventured down that avenue. How much more difficult are they to find compared to a ticket?
Newspapers are they're easy and hard to get. Easy meaning, if they do come out tomorrow, everybody is selling
Yeah.
newspapers. But if you do miss that day, a lot of the newspapers that do not get sold get back or get thrown away to the garbage. So you pretty much have one day to find the newspaper, or
Yeah.
else or else it's going to be super hard to find.
Okay, interesting. And what about the graded program? Did you buy that with the ticket or did you grade that yourself? What's the story behind
I
that?
did grade it myself. The magazine I did grade it myself, came back a 7. The newspaper, I don't think anybody really grades newspapers, so I'm just gonna keep that just sealed and stuff like that. Just like I said, I have so many papers. I also have again, Ronaldo when he won for Sporting, matching tickets, a lot of stuff here that match with the ticket that I have. So like the
Yeah,
Euro
it's
2016.
a very interesting perspective, that program. I've
Mhm.
never really ventured into that either. Run through to the followers and listeners what program collecting can be like, because it's obviously an avenue that's very similar in terms of encapsulating a memory. How much is grading? What's the process like? Yeah, run us through it.
So with grading tickets, there's a local company that does it for about £20, which is not bad. They are upgrading it. It's a little bit flimsy, but they
Yeah.
are getting a hard copy versus PSA, where you're paying about $80 Canadian, which is about £50. You're gonna wait about 6 months to get graded. Uh, but I mean, PSA, of course, we all know
So
about
I was
PSA.
referring to programs.
Oh, programs. Actually, this program took me about a year and a half to get graded. Uh,
Wow.
they told me it's taking 3 to 4 months, but for some reason this took about a year and a half. I thought they lost it at one time, but I did get it back a 7, so it's not a bad grade at all.
And is there a community of graded program collectors?
There is
No.
not. Even with newspapers, I don't think anybody collects much newspapers.
Hmm.
I mean, for the price point, maybe they cost. I'm not sure they're in UK. Maybe a pound or two for a newspaper.
Yeah.
It's good to have as memories later on. So
And
it's
also,
it's
it
a good
tells a
thing to have.
story. It definitely tells a story. I can see that because you're reading
Yeah,
through the day after, and obviously they're reporting on what happened. So, yeah,
yeah,
I see value in that. It's pretty cool.
correct.
Cool, cool, cool. Well, you've got your collection of tickets now. Do you want to run through some
Yeah,
interesting stories, potentially cheap finds or favorite finds?
yeah. I mean, I have about 100 tickets here, but of course, I'm not going to go through them all. I just sorted to the ones that are more popular. The 9-0 record. It was given to me 3 weeks before the game as a gift. As I went to Portugal, I met up with the collector. He offered me a ticket. I told him I wasn't going to go to the game, but he just offered it to me anyways. And of course, they got a record of 9-0. I also have the Nations League finals, semifinals when they won. A rare Rui Costa debut for Portugal.
Damn, I've never seen one of them before.
Yeah, this one cost me a bit. It's super hard to get. These ones are gonna get graded. Just waiting
Yeah,
for a few more tickets to come in. Maradona when he played in um, Napoli for versus Sporting. The only
very
time I
cool.
believe he was in Portugal. Euro 2016 finals,
Yeah.
hospitality passes, not the actual tickets.
Do they
I
have seat numbers on those ones?
These do not. So these were one of them is hospitality VIP, and the other one is the UEFA guest club member for a lounge.
Yeah.
So yeah, these ones do not have. 2016, all the games for Portugal.
Yeah,
There is ones that will say, finals on the top. These ones actually say Portugal versus the team they're playing.
yeah.
There's a lot of ones that you'll say finals or semifinals, but I wanted to collect the ones that actually
Yeah, it's
show
interesting that
Portugal.
FIFA do that because it's the same with the World Cup. Sometimes it's match winner 56 versus 57, or sometimes it's,
Yeah,
country A versus country B.
yeah. Like I said, I have so many here. I also have the vultures for the finals, semifinals, quarterfinals of Portugal.
Yeah.
Not sure how these were given.
So how do they work? Does that grant access into the stadium, or is that to
Yeah, I
redeem a
believe
ticket?
these are vultures. So it looks like, yeah, you would walk. There's no C number on here, so it looks like maybe it's just you get a free ticket when you redeem them.
Okay.
So these are all of Portugal's playoff tickets. I see this one here before we went live. I just wanted to check. This was Ronaldo's first major trophy for Sporting.
Yeah, I've seen this one a few times before. This is cool.
Yeah, I just seen the prices, and they're just getting higher and higher. Uh, Ronaldo's all-time leading scorer. I have also when he passes Pelé for the most goals.
This is a cool one. Rick, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Obviously, being a clear Ronaldo fan, and the
hmm
World Cup 2022 obviously changing the narrative of who's the GOAT. What are your thoughts on Ronaldo versus Messi, and then also how that kind of aligns into a collecting perspective?
I mean, of course I'm going to say Ronaldo is the goat. Messi, of course, he's good, or just he's not
He's
better,
good.
I think. But it's just the way now they're going with Messi now in MLS, which is going to be he's going to obviously come to Toronto to play a game here versus where Ronaldo's playing. I mean, it's uh, two different places where they're playing, but of course, I believe Messi stuff might be cost a lot more, only because he did win the World Cup,
Yeah, I
which
definitely think that shifted the narrative of who's the best, and then obviously
Mhm.
for people investing, not so much collectors, but there's also been a shift away from Ronaldo a little bit and slightly more into Messi, which is
Yeah.
interesting
So
to
I think
see.
ever since Messi won the World Cup, I think that was the time now to buy Ronaldo stuff because everybody was after Messi tickets, cards, jerseys, and whatnot. So I think it was even now. I think it's time to
Even
buy.
now,
Yeah, only because the Euro is coming up and the World Cup will be coming here to Toronto in 2 years. I mean, I could just imagine the price of tickets. To be honest, if Ronaldo does play a game here in Toronto, you're probably looking at about £1,500 for one ticket. I think it's
that's
going to
crazy.
be. Yeah, I mean Toronto is just it's crazy for tickets. I also have when he breaks the record. No ticket was graded higher. I think there's only two of them.
Is this
And then
with
eight.
PSA?
Correct. PSA.
What's the
Yeah.
grade on that one?
That one is an 8.
Wow.
And it's yeah, 8 on that. Of course, you have Ronaldo's first game, first goal. These are also PSA, Luis Figo, high 7,
You
first.
gotta keep. You gotta hold this one. I need to see this one. What is this one? Sorry.
So this one is Figo's Portugal debut for
Very cool.
Portugal. Yeah, Luis Figo.
I've never seen
Uh,
this one before. That's a beauty.
yeah, that one is PSA 7. And then, of
Wow.
course, a lot of these you see on eBay. His debut, his first goal
You
for
know, I
Portugal.
truly believe the World Cup debuts and first goals are underpriced. I think the
Yeah,
World Cup is probably, if you ask any player that plays football, what is the most important trophy? What's the most pinnacle of your career? It's going to be the World Cup. So
of course.
it's hard to not value that fairly.
Yeah, I mean that's the only one I'm missing is a Ronaldo World Cup. So hopefully he's still playing. One thing I did want to mention was I was in Portugal in 2023. I was in talks with um, CR Museum, which is the Ronaldo Museum. They did want some of my stuff. They did want the newspaper that I showed you.
Yeah.
They wanted some tickets, the rookie card that I have. Everything was going well until we find out that they will keep the stuff. They will not give it back to me because they do have a section in the museum where fans, if they make something for him, they keep it there on a glass display for a month. but then after that they will take it, throw it in the back somewhere. Unfortunately, they will not give it back. So
That's really
yeah, this, I mean, they wanted the Ronaldo debut tickets, they wanted the newspaper, they wanted his rookie card that I have. But unfortunately, yeah, I won't give
not
it
for
up.
free.
Yeah, no, they wanted to offer me a signed postcard and a keychain, but yeah,
Not a fair
it's
trade.
not worth it. Yeah,
No, at all.
not worth it. But yeah, like I said, I can be here all day showing, debuts, first goals, last games, record-breaking stuff. So
Of
just
course. I want to know what year did you begin buying? Because obviously we saw the hype in 2021, 22. Was it pre that you started buying, or did
I
that kind of
started
open your
buying
eyes to it?
in 2016 when they won the Euro.
Yeah.
I remember I was on vacation and I was scrolling through my phone and I went to go buy a card that was about $300 from the Euro. And I was like, I just can't believe I spent $300 on a card, only to find out now that card is about $4,000.
Wow.
At that time, cards weren't as popular until recently everything just went up. So
Yeah. And with regards to tickets, did you buy a ticket that same time in 2016?
I didn't. Most of these tickets, I'm gonna say I bought them within 2 or 3 years.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah, so
I think
these are
that's
all
the general
recent, but
consensus for everyone because it is an under appreciated hobby, and
correct.
really bringing eyes to it is important, and that's why I think it will grow. You mentioned trips back to Portugal. Did you have any luck kind of sourcing some early tickets whilst there?
So I did meet up with somebody I do buy tickets from. He was in the area. We went out for lunch. He did have a binder full of tickets. Uh, we met up. He showed me what he had, and I came back home with I'm gonna say about 30 tickets of his,
Crazy.
which is the pricing was really good when you buy for somebody from Portugal when the game is in Portugal, and yeah, so I had to buy it, and I have it now, and just got to send it out to PSA to get it graded.
Nice, because the culture definitely in Portugal, when I've seen on Facebook groups and stuff, they love to keep their stuff. They love their collectibles, and also they've been collecting tickets for years and years and years. So
Correct.
it is interesting to see how, as the prices rise, those will start to kind of come out of the cracks and emerge. Because there's no doubt that people have definitely got them.
Yeah. Yeah, they do have them. Even I have ones here from like 1990s, the 2000s. So I'm glad they still keep it at home, and then over time they do sell it. So which is
Yeah.
good.
You have the Sporting Manchester ticket that you showed earlier. I love that one. I think
Yeah,
it's.
yeah,
I
I
think
have it
it's
here. Yeah, like I said, this is one of the ones the Ronaldo Museum wanted to keep, but unfortunately, like I
well, that
said, I
definitely
didn't want to
speaks volumes to it.
give it up. Yeah, it's here somewhere, but I've just had it here. Oh yes, right here. It's not the best grade, a 1.5 again.
Most
It
of them
is
are
folded.
folded.
Yeah, like I said, when you go to a game, you're gonna get a ticket, fold it, put it in your wallet, your back pocket, and then you get home, you're
Absolutely.
gonna throw it somewhere, and then after a few years, you realize someone has a ticket. So yeah, but it is in good shape. It's nicely in a PSA
It looks
slab.
crisp.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
so
absolutely.
yeah. Also, like I said, I know these we're talking about tickets. This, like I said, I have ones that aren't worth much. But you have Edgar's debut for Portugal,
Yeah,
and what I like to show off is this card here. So this is one of one. This
yeah,
is the best Edgar card you can find. Uh, I don't believe he doesn't have any autos or anything. So this is one of one black uh, for me. So it's good to have it, with his
absolutely.
debut
And
ticket
that's
as
what I
well.
love that you do. You kind of combine the memory from the card with the ticket, and then also alongside some other memorabilia. So that's what I found so fascinating with what you do. It's not just
Mhm.
tickets, tickets, tickets. It's the whole encapsulation of that
Yes,
memory.
tickets, cards. I did reach out to a few Portugal players on Instagram. They were nice enough to give me their address. I would send them some stuff to get signed, and they would send it back. Uh, so it's really nice of them as well. I had Ricardo, the goalkeeper,
Yeah,
who stopped. I'm sure you remember the England game where he took off his gloves. stop the
Wasn't
ball.
yeah, I've seen this. I've seen this. That's real cool. Did you have that game specifically autographed, or was it a debut?
So I do have the ticket. I have it all here framed.
Ah,
So he
okay,
did sign the jersey with my name, the gloves, and again, of course, got to have the ticket as well.
absolutely.
And I do have the matching newspaper as well. And that's the glove there. I mean, he
It
didn't
is
wear any
cool.
gloves; those are just replica gloves. But it's nice of him to, you can send him something, he will send it back, which was really nice of him.
Absolutely. Now, my next question is: of course, you were born in Portugal, but you're living in Canada. Is there any love to any Canadian collectibles at all, or is it mainly a Portuguese collection?
It's I do have some Canadian stuff here. I mean, when they won the basketball third place versus the U.S. last year, but I mean, I'll go to a sports card show here, and you'll be lucky, 1 or 2% is soccer. A lot of stuff is hockey, baseball, basketball. So it's very,
Absolutely.
very rare you find anything soccer here in Canada.
Now, you mentioned the World Cup coming in the next 2 years. How do you
Mhm.
think, with that being hosted in the Americas, that it will affect the attention towards the sport?
Well, I believe it will go up. Everybody will get the urge to, go to the games. Obviously, it's going to be talked around. It's going to be talked around the whole city. So I believe, any cards, tickets. Yeah, I mean, if there's any hard tickets, newspapers, anything that has to do with the World Cup will increase in value.
Hmm.
Um, I do
Just
have
more from
when the
a like
Raptors.
embedding into culture perspective, because you look at the collectibles in America and obviously Canada,
Mhm.
baseball and basketball are so, and American football are so in the culture that the things are so well valued compared to soccer. So do you think that will change? Do you think their culture will change, that they begin to care about soccer collectibles or not?
I think they will start caring about soccer once the World Cup starts coming here. Uh, MLS, it's not as big as soccer it is in Europe. I mean,
Yeah.
so many people are giving away free tickets just to go to a game. The stadium is not the best for a World Cup match. I believe they're adding a few more seats,
Hmm.
but I mean, Toronto, I can't see it hosting a popular game. I mean, it will be World Cup will be here, but I can't see it hosting a popular team like Argentina or Portugal
Yeah.
in here.
Yeah, you mentioned tickets earlier. I'm almost certain that FIFA will definitely do physical tickets. They
Hmm.
always have, especially in the World Cup 2022. They made a conscious effort to kind of integrate that into it,
All right.
and I think it saves the issues of fake tickets, etc., etc.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the last World Cup. I do have some tickets here graded, but what I was told was there was no hard copies of the tickets. You would have to get your mobile app. Go
For the
to, I believe,
2022 World Cup.
yeah, I believe they had. Someone told me they had a booth. You show them your e-ticket, and then they would print out a hard ticket there.
It was a
From
mix.
what
It
I
really
could be
depended.
wrong.
It depended
Yeah.
on a few different things. Most of it, again, was e-tickets, but they did have the physical tickets. I think
Okay.
if you were an international, they would have shipped it to your house. There was also the alternative to
Okay.
collect it from the stands. Then there's the hospitality tickets, which were mostly, delivered to people's addresses or given out the day. So these were physical. I've actually
Okay.
got an interesting story about one of those. I somehow ended up, I don't know, I do have it here. I believe this was the semi-final, and this is a hospitality ticket. But this ticket here was from. You can probably read it here. This was from the Saudi King's Lounge. So the King
Okay.
of Saudi. This is his ticket
Oh
here.
wow.
So yeah, a very interesting one and a really cool ticket.
Yeah, it's like I have one here. I mean, it's not even ripped. I just grabbed one. This was Canada versus Croatia.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, so for some reason they grade it local company as souvenir. So
Okay.
again,
So
Mhm.
at the bottom there is. So if you bought a ticket in person, um, sorry, online, and you wanted that digital ticket later after the event to be printed off, you had the option for that to be the case. So there are some differences with the ticket. I think the text at the bottom is bolded for the souvenir or something along the lines of that. So maybe
Okay.
that's the difference. But there are a
Okay.
few differences between the souvenir.
Yeah. I had a few different options on it, so I just wanted to see what was going on with it.
Yeah, but definitely on the note of souvenirs, that probably is looking like the most likely outcome for the future of tickets, which we discussed earlier.
Yeah.
It's probably the most likely outcome if all tickets are going to be digital.
Yeah.
Probably for a premium of £5, £10 you can pay to get it printed off, and
Oh,
you
that's.
can
I mean,
never see
that's.
it.
It's not a bad price. I mean, I would. I mean, for somebody who collects tickets, that's actually good. It's a good
Absolutely.
price.
Yeah, it'll
Yeah.
be interesting, and I think it's down to the community of ticket collectors to kind of enforce some sense of pressure into making that happen. Because if they
Hmm.
don't know that the hobby even exists, they have no intention to keep it alive.
Correct. Yeah. I bumped into many card collectors. I, to be honest, I haven't met one ticket collector within my area here in Toronto. A lot of them I either purchased through eBay. Uh, the 200th ticket of Ronaldo, super hard to find, only because the game wasn't played in Portugal. It was played, I believe, it was in Iceland.
Okay.
The 200th game. So for me to find a ticket it was super hard to find.
But again, that's the hunt. That's what makes it so exciting.
Yeah, correct. I mean, it's not like cards where I'm sure sometimes they're super easy to find. Tickets are super hard, especially when they're not played in your home country.
Absolutely. How far does your hunting go for tickets? Is it just eBay, or have you ventured into different platforms?
Most of it is through eBay, or I do follow a few ticket collectors on my
Hmm.
Instagram, and we'll just go back and forth. Sometimes they know I do collect Portugal, so when something pops up, they would message me first. If I'm interested, I'll buy it. If not, they will just list it on.
Yeah, definitely for me, one of the best things is just having connections of sellers. So once you do find someone on eBay that is, constantly selling to you, drop them a message, and I've always found that they'll recommend, I've got these tickets coming up, or offer you these are going to be listed soon. Are you interested? And I found that's the best way to get a good price.
Yeah, I mean that's what's good about the hobby is when you have a connection and they know what you're looking for, they would message you first. I had a few people do that with cards. They would message me first. I would purchase them, or if I don't, they would just list it on eBay there.
Exactly. Yeah, those connections are so important.
Yeah.
Listen, the culture of Portuguese collectors, I'm not sure if you're fully immersed in it, but in some of the Facebook groups, I'm not sure if you've joined,
Hmm.
they have like massive supplies of vintage tickets. It's nuts. It's really, really interesting to
Yeah,
see.
I have to. They, I know Portugal has a website where you sell used stuff. It could be cards, tickets, anything from home. So sometimes I do go on there and I do find a few stuff as well
Yeah, I
from
want to go back to
Portugal.
was it the Luis Figo debut?
Hmm.
What's the story behind that? How did you manage to find such a ticket?
This one I had some, again, same thing. I had a collector. Uh, he knew I was into Portugal stuff, tickets, newspaper, cards.
Yeah.
I mean, I have some rare stuff here from 2016 Euro. So he did send me a message. Um, he did send me a message like, "Hey, I have this ticket. Before I put in an auction, are you interested?" I said yes. So he made the deal, and I have it here. This one is a 7,
Do you know
which
the
is
population on that?
on the 7. I have to double check. I think it's the only 7. I have other ones that are, I believe, like a 4 or a 5.
Yeah.
But as for 7, I think this might be the highest. I would have to double check.
Yeah, for ticket sevens is pretty as good as it gets, really.
Yeah, it is, especially for a 1991 card. You know, 20
Definitely.
plus years. Uh, it's super high grade on
Yeah.
a ticket. I mean, you most likely very hard to find a ticket maybe in a 10, unless you get the ticket, you protect it, you get it
Only
scanned, you
really
throw it
super
in a book.
modern. Anything over the past 3 years, you have a chance because people appreciate the value. But before
Correct.
that, no one really, they didn't have value. They might have
Yes.
had £50 value, but it's not enough for someone to even buy a separate sleeve for it.
Yeah.
So it was just chucked in a binder or something like that. So yeah, really
Yeah. I
super
mean,
modern the past 3 years.
unless you go to a game with a book, you get the ticket, you throw it in a book, keep it nice and flat and fold it or something like
And
that. But
even then, are you guaranteed a 10? Probably not.
yeah, that's true. And all the old times they would rip the ticket, or I have some tickets that would actually have to write the seat number with pen.
Yeah,
So it's what makes it interesting.
absolutely. It ties into the scarcity very well.
Correct. Yes.
Rick, I ask everyone that joins on here their most recent pickup. What is, a ticket that you've most recently bought?
Oh, I have one. I was hoping to get it in the mail today. Uh, now if I can just remember.
What was it?
Uh, oh boy, I would have to double check. Probably recently that I got in my hands. Of course, it would have to be. Where is it? Sorry, I might have some here. Oh, it's probably going to be the 9-0 win. The record. Uh, I mean, it's not a major ticket that's going to be worth large. Maybe this record would last a few weeks or months. Maybe Portugal down the road will win 10-0 or 11.
Yeah,
So, I mean, this is probably my recent ticket. I do have some more debuts from Portugal, like Pepe and João Felix coming in.
yeah,
Um, but that's probably my most recent ticket.
yeah. You mentioned actually, what's it called? Records. Now, records is
Mhm.
something that I haven't really collected, and it's probably because of from an investment perspective, it's not the safest bet because any record can be soon broken.
That's correct, right? So I think record tickets are good if you want to sell them. Maybe get them and sell them right away. Um, Ronaldo's 200th game. Maybe somebody might pass that or his goals or
Hmm.
no, not just with soccer, with any sport. A record, they are meant to be broken. So hopefully nobody beats Ronaldo's records. Increasing the value of the
Yeah,
tickets.
exactly. The longer the records last, the more valuable they become. I mean, I have
Correct.
the Invincible season from Arsenal 2003.
Hmm.
Now, this is just holding its value because it's looking unlikely that it will be broken for a while. And
Right.
yeah, it is a gamble even owning that because you know that if that is broken the year after, the Invincible season isn't so exciting, but that excitement behind that still remains. So yeah, as you say,
Yeah, so I mean, versus debuts or last games, when it's a debut, that's never going to change, or the last
never.
game or last goal or first goal. And you're right when it comes to a record. Uh, it might be broken today, it might be broken tomorrow, or it never be broken again.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you got to have trust in how good that record is, I guess.
Correct. Yeah. So I mean, it's like I said, I can be here all day showing off tickets, but yeah, I've been starting collecting more tickets than cards. Cards I probably have over 1,000 Portugal cards, patches, autos, limited edition cards,
Hmm.
um, numbered cards. But I'm leaning towards more of the tickets.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to ask that. Why would that be?
Uh, like you mentioned before, it's the chase. It's harder to get, and when you have the ticket in your hand, you feel better with it knowing it's yours rather than a card. Uh, back then you would have a Ronaldo rookie card of Sporting, which is just a one print, versus cards now where there's like thousands. There's yellows, there's greens, purples, reds, auto, non-auto, versus tickets where there's only that one style of ticket, the history behind the ticket, versus a card which is just the photo of the player or his auto. Uh,
Absolutely.
but
And with the fact that they have the seat numbers on, almost everyone within itself is a one of one. It is a unique ticket.
yeah, that's the thing too. Yeah, I mean, I had this record-breaking goal. I did purchase it, but I had a friend buy me a ticket. It was it was an e-ticket, and they had to have your name on it. So he did send me the e-ticket
Yeah.
file with my name on it, and he happens to got the record during that game.
Hmm.
So to get a hard copy of that game was super hard to get.
Very interesting. Very interesting. Well, as we wrap up now, is there anything else you want to mention? Is there any avenues that you're seeing in the future with ticket collecting? Any doubts
No,
in your hobby?
Uh, I mean, it's just going to get harder and harder to get tickets. So if anybody who does have tickets for their personal collection, uh, I would say keep it. Maybe don't sell it as of yet. Maybe, if they are soccer tickets, maybe wait till the World Cup, and then uh, we all know that the Euro will be in Portugal in 4 years. So having it here in Canada and then 2 years later in Portugal, I'm sure the Ronaldo tickets or any Portugal tickets will increase in value.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people in the past have speculated, oh, the World Cup, and then the World Cup comes and they're not as valuable. But I do think this might be an exception. I
Hmm.
think it will open up sports collectibles, specifically soccer, into this new market, which is
Correct.
never really done before. And the hype of the World Cup and the excitement of the World Cup and bringing everyone together, I think will be an unmatched feeling that will be hard to ignore. So I think the hype is always there for a World Cup, but this might be an exception.
Yeah, because it's in America, in Canada, and Mexico. I'm sure the soccer hype will happen with tickets, with anything collecting, with sports cards as well.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not. Of course, it's nice for your collectibles to go up in value, but if they don't, it's not the end of the world, and it's always amazing to own them.
Correct. Do yourself? Do you collect cards as well, or is it just strictly tickets?
Definitely, it was my gateway into sports tickets.
Hmm.
Obviously, I've always had sports cards growing up. My match attacks, shootouts when I was a kid. So opening those binders and finding them years later definitely ignites that passion for it. Uh,
Correct.
yeah, I'm not so much into it now because I just don't think they compare at all to tickets. I think when you hold a ticket and hold a sports card, it's almost impossible to
Yeah,
not
correct.
like the ticket more. So for me, now I'm just fully focused on tickets. I've kind of fallen out of love for cards and
Yeah,
cards and stickers.
yeah. Same with me. I have so many cards. I think I'm starting to stay away from the cards only because there's so many of them nowadays versus the tickets,
Yeah, it's an
which
interesting thing, and I've mentioned it many times, but as collectibles become more valuable and more hyped, especially when they can be printed, the supply often flies up. And for the
yeah,
first time ever with tickets, with e-tickets becoming popular, we're not seeing that. So it does kind of keep that excitement and that buzz alive because I think if there was 40,000 tickets on eBay for a debut for someone, it just wouldn't be fun.
yeah.
So the fact that it is scarce and they're hard to find makes it still super exciting.
Correct. And I think tickets may be more value to yourself if you were actually at the game.
Hmm.
A lot of these games, I don't think I have any tickets here that I actually been to the game. I might have one, which is not a big game, but I think there's more value to the collector if you were at the Croatia Canada game yourself, and this is your ticket. You sat here, you paid for it,
Absolutely.
which will mean a lot more
Yeah, and I think
to
for
yourself.
me that was the weirdest thing. I'd actually collected my own tickets when I was a kid for football matches, music events that I'd ever gone to, and I'd throw them away in a memory box or a binder. And then for
Mhm.
me in 2020 to go buy someone else's ticket felt a bit weird. But after you make
Correct.
that first purchase, that strangeness very quickly wears off and the excitement begins.
It's an addiction. You start buying one ticket, two tickets, and then you're stuck with 50, 100 tickets.
Yeah.
Uh, and all my tickets they do have a value. Again, it's either a debut or a record or a trophy as well.
Absolutely. Well, Rick, thank you so much for your time. Do you
No
want to give
problem.
everyone
Thank
your
you.
Instagram account so they can follow you and find your incredible
Yes.
collection?
So it is Inacio underscore collection, INACIO. I do have one of the biggest Euro 2016 collections of Portugal stuff. Many tickets, many cards. Uh, Unfortunately, none of it is for sale. But feel free, take a look. Any questions and stuff, I'm more than happy to answer anything to any collector.
It's an amazing collection, an amazing passion, an amazing conversation. So thank you so much for your
Thank
time,
you.
Rick. And
Thank you. Thanks.
I'll message you on Instagram.
Thank you for everything you're doing as well for the community. Going live with other collectors, seeing what they have and what they bring to the table. It's always nice to see rather than just a photo and the story behind it.
Absolutely. I mean, every ticket, and this is why they're so much better than sports cards, has a story. And I think it's nice for those stories to be told. So to bring everyone together in one place and have people tell their stories, I think is firstly essential, but also extremely interesting.
Yeah, it's always nice to view your videos and interviewing a lot of the people.
Yeah,
It's
there's
very
there's
good.
a wonderful community of collectors, so I hope you listen in to some of the amazing guests we've got
I
upcoming
do.
soon.
Perfect. Thank you
Anyway,
very
thank you
much.
so much. Take
All
care.
right. Thank
Bye
you.
bye.
Thanks.